Welcome to the source. The source. Source. Hey, get the source.
Good morning. Happy Sunday to all. Sorry, I was running a few minutes late this morning. Went to Atlantic City last night. It was for a work thing, but so I got home late and I was a little behind the ball this morning. So we got 15 MLB games. I also have the NBA game queued up. We could talk about it at the end, but I didn't really have time to line up guests or anything. So it'll just be me for the NBA. Well, let's start with the MLB. And the first game up is Giants Rangers. Looks like there's already a poll up. If I was to bet this game, which I didn't, I have bets open, not this one, I would lean towards the Giants at this price. But Keaton Winn, the last time he was out there in the rotation was not pretty. It's just, I don't know if I'm ready to start laying any kind of juice for Eovaldi. I like Eovaldi, but I mean, obviously he missed time with the injury, and since he's been back, he looked good. But if I'm going to pull it up now, pretty sure he hasn't gone deeper than 5 innings in the 2 starts, right?
Yeah, 5 2/3 yet last start. Yeah,
5 2. Oh, so 5 2/3 is actually solid, but only 71 pitches. So you're not going to be able to get 5 2/3 on 71 pitches reliably. That's not going to happen. So since he's been back, he threw 37 pitches, 71 pitches. So I mean, how deep are they taking Eovaldi into this game? And if that's the case, if he only goes 4 2/3, 5 innings, do you really want to lay minus 160 with the Rangers? Keaton Winn just sucks, but you know what? If there's one lineup that you could bounce back against, it's the Rangers right now. They let me down the other night. They just can't seem to hit. So it's going to be Giants or pass for me, but I didn't bet this one.
Yeah. As you guys know, if you obviously watched the show, I don't know if I can bet the Giants because the spot is so bad for them. I really want to bet them just because I thought that I truly feel like they're going to go on a run. And at plus 130, I mean, again, I think I could do worse with my money. Keaton Winn, yes, he has looked bad his last, let's go, his last 3 starts. But 2 of those starts were at Philadelphia and at the Los Angeles Dodgers. The previous starts before those, Pittsburgh, he looked decent. He went 6 innings. 6 innings, Pittsburgh, no 1 run. The Mets, Miami, and then the Rays got 2 runs in 5 innings. So besides his last 3 starts, or 2 of his last 3 starts where he faced the Rockies, the Dodgers, and the Phillies, and one of those bad starts was also at Coors Field. I think that he could pitch well here today. My issue is if you're asking yourself, well, then why not take the Giants at plus 130? Their bullpen is Duvall, Rogers, Ryan Walker went yesterday, Eric Miller went yesterday. I would assume with the way that they've been using Duvall and Rogers that I'm sure Duvall will go again, but I don't know if I really want to deal with that because he's been kind of shaky at best at times. So it's Giants. I don't know if I actually bet it yet, but yeah, I think I'm going to have to just because I feel like I have to, but yeah.
I'm not going to. I can tell you for certain I am not going to bet this game. Because I do think the Rangers win, but at this number, it would be Giants.
That's my issue. It's like, I think the Rangers win, but I'm getting enough value where I feel like I'm not in a bad spot. But yeah,
exactly. I hear you. All right, let's move on to the second game. What does the poll think on that one? Actually, I have it right here. 58%, 36% on Texas. So viewers are leaning towards Texas. Let's move on to the next game. Someone said, did the guest you have on yesterday hit on the strikeout props? I think he did well yesterday, Silverback. And I asked him to come back on today. He's doing family stuff. So I think he had a good one. His first time on, he had a bad day. But yesterday, I think he did really well. All right. Next up, we have Atlanta, Washington. And look, I don't know how you could back the Braves lineup against a lefty right now. I mean, but the thing is, who is the lefty?
Well, who's either one of them? I posted this in Discord last night, and I'll be dead honest. I kind of pride myself on when I see, especially working with Kyle, and for Kyle, if there's 2 starters that pop up, I feel like I better know one of them.
Right.
I don't know either one of these guys. So it's one of those things where, like, I'm not even going to act like I know something I don't. In no way, shape, or form should the Atlanta Braves be minus 165 to anybody, maybe even with Max Fried on the mound, let alone, what's his name? Hellhip? I don't even know.
Waldrep?
Whatever. It's Nats or pass. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it would be Nats or pass for me, too. The recent lefty starters, now this guy DJ Hers pitching for the Nats, he's a lefty. And recent lefty starters against the Braves, Mackenzie Gore, great game. Mitchell Parker, 7 innings, 3 hits, like shut him down. They couldn't get to JP Sears. They did get 4 runs in that game, but just 8 base runners in 7 innings pitched. Went 7 innings. Before that, couldn't get to Mackenzie Gore again. Couldn't get to Mitchell Parker before that. I mean, this Braves team, as recent as 2.5 weeks ago, got blanked by Bailey Falter. Bailey Falter pitched into the 8th inning against the Braves. So I just don't see how you possibly lay minus 160, minus 165 on the road with this team against any lefty, even a lefty the likes of DJ Hers. Let me just pull up the bullpens. I'm pretty sure both these bullpens there's no advantage either way. Yeah, Washington's bullpen is a little more taxed, but they're going to have Harvey, they're going to have Finnegan, they're going to have Floro. So both the bullpens are fine. At this price, it would be Washington or pass, but it's a straight pass for me. And let's see what the votes is. Wow, our votes are pretty even on this one. 41%, 39% Braves. So community leaning towards Atlanta there slightly. Oh, man, it's time.
For what? I don't even know. I can't see the screen.
Minnesota at Pittsburgh. Man. You go first.
I hate you. I think you feel like I feel like you have to bet the Twins here. It's so disgusting. Yesterday, I'm not even mad because I had a good day yesterday, so I'm not gonna let it mad. I don't even feel like the Twins yesterday was a bad pick up until the 8th inning because they were out hitting them and all that stuff. Whatever. Twins haven't scored since Nam, as our friend Beaver would like to say. And you have Jared Jones coming off probably one of his best starts of his career, probably the most important start of his career, where he was pumping, I think he was hitting 100 and whatever on the radar gun, which is something that's really high for him. He looked really, really good. My issue with that is that we've seen this from Jared Jones before. We've seen him get amped up, pitch really well, went 7 innings against Colorado, 1 hit, no runs, 10 strikeouts. He looked awesome. And then his next 2 starts, the Cubs hit him up, the Giants hit him up a little bit. He didn't really look good against Detroit, and then he had that really good start against the Dodgers. And then for the Twins on the other side, you got Bailey Ober, who doesn't have the best numbers on the road. I can't really excuse the White Sox start, but he looked good in Toronto. And then he went on the road in Cleveland, which we all know that Cleveland's one of the better teams in Major League Baseball right now, especially at home, and they have a really good offense. And then he went on the road to Yankee Stadium and gave up 3 runs in 5 innings. So if he pitches even remotely like he pitched in Yankee Stadium, I think he goes 5 or 6 today. And they should be able to win this game. I feel stupid for saying that, but
I know.
I truly believe that. I probably will look stupid looking like that. Everybody in Minnesota's bullpen's ready to go. Duran did go yesterday, but he had the previous week off. So, and then the top it all off, that Pittsburgh bullpen, David Bender, 4 of the last
guys yesterday. Like, I can't believe it.
David Bender, 4 of the last 5 days. Colin Holderman, 4 of the last 5 days. Aroldis Chapman did have the day off yesterday, but has worked 4 of the last 5 days. Hunter Stratton worked yesterday. I'm not going to keep on going down the list. They're taxed.
That guy Mlodzinski, 3 of the last 4 days too.
I know. You can literally, it's all the way down. So, I understand that the Twins suck, but going to score 0-0 in back-to-back games, like, it's not going to stay that way. Again, I feel like I'm not going to keep on going because the clips that you're going to be able to clip if they get shut out again are going to be ridiculous. So, yeah.
Put up Twins for me, too. I really want to bet this. This didn't make my ticket, but this is the one that just got left off. Twins are going to win this game. I mean, Jared Jones, like Toe said, coming off a great start, but we just saw it. Like Toe said, he pitched an excellent game against the Rockies, then followed it up, and the Cubs got to him. And yeah, he just pitched lights out against the Dodgers in his last game. 6 shutout innings. Everyone was watching. Everyone's all Jared Jones' stock has never been higher. We're just forgetting about the 2 starts before that where he struggled against Detroit and struggled against the Giants. I mean, Jared Jones as a whole had been coming down to earth. In fact, you could really argue that the 4 starts before that Dodger start were all a step down from what we were seeing earlier. So I don't think
100%.
Jared Jones, I don't think the Pirates should be favored against anybody. I know that they did beat the Twins twice in a row, but they weren't hitting. I mean, the one game they had 4 hits. Put up Twins. I want to bet it. This is going to win. So I'm going to be pissed I didn't bet it, but I didn't. It's Twins or pass.
I will say just really quickly, I was dead serious the other day when I said that I think Pittsburgh can make the playoffs. If they sweep the Twins here today, I think we can start looking at Pittsburgh as like maybe possibly a real contender, because that'd be really impressive. Because then they go out and they play the Cardinals their next game out. So yeah, it'll be fun to watch.
All right, next game. Prop People was taking a social media break, by the way, for those of you asking. He's producing the show, so he's literally right here. He's just taking a social media break. All right, next up. Where is it? We got Milwaukee, Detroit. Yeah, I didn't even look at this one, if I'm being honest. I haven't placed a bet in this series the whole time. It's tough to argue against Tariq Skubal making a home start, though. But minus 170. I don't think just because the Tigers got to Freddie Peralta yesterday, that doesn't mean I'm going to start trusting the bats. So even though you look at Tariq Skubal versus Bryce Wilson, it's like, oh, Detroit at home, huge starting pitching edge for sure. But after that, I don't think the Tigers are a much better team than the Brewers. I mean, I actually think the Brewers would be the better team. So after the starting pitching matchup, I like the edge for the Brewers. They did use their bullpen arms yesterday, but they should all be available. And the Tigers used a couple of their guys as well. So it would be Brewers or pass at this price, but it would just be playing the number. I don't want to fade Skubal. I didn't bet this.
Yeah, I'm probably going to end up betting the Brewers here today. I just think that this price is absolutely ridiculous. You're getting a Brewers team that's really, really good at plus 142. And again, this isn't me trying to make a case that Tariq Skubal isn't good, but at the same time, I don't know if he should be a minus 170 favorite regardless, even at home. Yes, our Milwaukee used their bullpen arms yesterday, like Kyle talked about. But they should all had, let me see, 1, 2, 3 days off. Yeah. So all of them had multiple days off prior to that. I expect them all to be rested, are ready to go today. Detroit did use their closer and somebody else yesterday as too, so they're not like super clean. They used Foley and Shelby Miller, their 2 best arms, and Shelby Miller went 26 pitches as well. So, and the other guy I wanted to touch on is Bryce Wilson, who I know that his last start against the Cubs wasn't great. He went 4 innings, and he doesn't go long usually in general, but his last previous 6 starts before that, I mean, and he was fine. And his 3 starts on the road, I mean, he went 4 innings, gave up 2 runs in Pittsburgh. He went 6 innings, didn't give up a run in Kansas City. He went 4 2/3, went 2 runs in Houston. I think that if he gives you 4 or 5 innings at 2-run baseball, I think that you're super live. And again, you're getting the Brewers at plus 142 at best. So yeah, I think I'll be playing the Brewers here.
Yeah, it'd be the only side I do play if it's that. But if we fast forward to the next game, we get to my first actual bet. I bet this and I actually like it. I'm on the over here. Hold on, let me pull up the spreadsheet because I didn't actually write down any notes. But if I'll pull up the spreadsheet and I can tell you guys what I like about it. Cubs, Reds, Imanaga, aka the Fade God. No, all jokes aside, I've been saying that I think Imanaga's gonna come around for like 2 or 3 starts, and we're seeing it. Sorry, 1 second. All right, so we'll start with Imanaga pitching for the Cubs. First of all, he's coming down to earth, like I just said. I mean, his last 2 starts, White Sox got to him. Before that, the Brewers got to him. So I think his stock was at an all-time high, and if you sold 2 starts ago, you're definitely sitting with a net gain there. But regardless, he's making a road start in Great American, and the Reds bats are here. In the last 14 days, this is a top 5 lineup. It's a top 5 lineup against righties. They're hitting righty starters. I mean, they got to Assad, Dakota Hudson, Feltner, Ben Brown. They scored 3 runs in just 4 innings. 5 runs in 5 innings off Ben Brown again. The Reds bats finally showed up, what we were waiting for earlier in the season. Reds are hitting. They're also crushing bullpens in late innings as well. One of the best lineups in baseball in innings 6+ in the last month. So the Reds are scoring. I don't care that Imanaga's on the mound. There's a huge price shift here. You can see the Cubs are actually favored. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure. Yeah,
they are.
Yep, because this line had moved. It was closer. It was like minus 115, minus 105 earlier. But I don't care. I'm on the total, so I have nothing to do with the price. But Cubs are favored here, and I don't think they should be. By the way, I would lean Reds, but I think over's the better bet. On the other side, we got Frankie Montas, and he looked excellent. One of the worst road starters in baseball goes on the road to Coors. Okay, Mets making noise. I didn't bet that, by the way. All right, so he goes on the road Coors, 7 innings, 1 hit shutout. So now all of a sudden, tell me this is not such a sell high spot for Frankie Montas. Before that start in Coors, Cardinals got to him at home. Padres smacked him up at home. The Dodgers got to him at Dodger Stadium. I'll give him a pass for that. The Giants got to him. Frankie Montas wasn't pitching well. 4 straight starts, he wasn't pitching well. He went on the road and pitched 1 gem. I think he's going to get hit up even by a Cubs lineup that doesn't hit anybody up. So I'm expecting runs on both sides. Also, one second. Reds bullpen, a little bit of a situation here. Cruz 3 of the last 4. Cubs just saw Sims. They just saw Mal. The Diaz is available, but he pitched 2 of the last 3. Reds bullpen definitely on the tax side, and that was the deciding factor because I was definitely on the Reds at plus money at home, but that bullpen, the Reds bullpen situation, is what shifted me from the Reds to an over.
Yeah, this is going to end up being a pass for me. I'm not going to bet this game. Yeah, I'd actually lean under.
What?
I know. That's why I'm not playing it. But you're getting Shota off of 2 terrible starts. It is his first time in Great America, so it is what it is. But yeah, I agree.
We saw back-to-back low-scoring games in Great American Ballpark, and you're going to take the under in the third. I'm not
going to take it. I'm saying that's
what
my thought process was.
You like the under,
and I didn't bet it. So it is what it is. But neither one of these teams have seen the starter. So we're going to get a little bit of an advantage there. I'm not playing an under in Great American Ballpark, period. That's why, again, that's part of it too. But, and I also would lean the Cubs because of that situation with the bullpen. But again, I'm not laying minus 133 with the Cubs. So I really like to bet the Reds here, but it's really hard for me to bet them with that bullpen. Now, I will say, I think the Cruz line makes that bullpen look a little bit worse than it is because Diaz is available, Lucas Sims is available, Brett Suter's available, Nick Martinez should be available. Yeah, it's Reds or pass. It is what it is. I'm not betting it.
Oh, Nick Martinez? Oh my God, let me cash out on my bet. Nick Martinez is available. Who cares? Next game.
Beaver, when we're off the show, school this man on Nick Martinez out of the bullpen, please.
No, probably Beaver's on a social media break. He can't talk seam.
Damn it.
Baltimore, Tampa's next, I believe, right? Yeah.
Can't talk seam.
Can't do it. One sec. Baltimore, Tampa. Grayson Rodriguez against Littell. Didn't place a bet in this game. I feel like I should have got my over last night. I know it was 5-0 and technically wasn't even close, but I liked the bet yesterday. So they're putting it down at 7.5 again. I still lean over, but I just lost in the over. I bet the over in this series both times. It went 1-1. I think Baltimore should win. So I like Baltimore and the over, Orioles team total over. So anywhere in that range, but I didn't bet it. So probably put up an Orioles money line. You know, put up an over thing for me. I didn't bet the game, but it'd be over. You can still get 7. You can get 7.5s too. You just have to pay a little juice for it. It's a pass for me.
Yeah, I did play Baltimore on the money line. Again, I think that they're clearly a much better team. And I understand that it is Sunday, but we're getting Grayson Rodriguez off of I don't want to say bad starts, but kind of mediocre starts. 6 innings, 7 hits, 4 runs, 10 strikeouts against Boston at home. And then even on the road in Toronto, 6 2/3, 7 hits, 2 runs. One of them being earned. Didn't walk anybody, which is a really good sign for him. But he has really, really good history against this Rays team. He did face them 3 times last year. 18 total innings, only 4 runs on 15 hits. Excuse me. And Zach Littell, again, one of those average guys that I like to talk about. Like, he's going to give you 4 or 5 innings, give up 3 or 4 runs. And if that's the case, if he even does that, I think that Baltimore can win this game pretty easily. The Baltimore bullpen situation, I don't even really worry about that. Kimbrel, Cano, Webb, Tate, all those guys had days off yesterday. And then on the other side of that, the Rays bullpen, Fairbanks and Clevenger had the days off, but Adam worked yesterday. Kelly's worked back-to-back days. Maton went 31 yesterday. So a lot of their middle relievers, the guys that you usually see in those 6, 7, 8 innings were used, and used a lot yesterday. So I think there's a lot of advantages in Baltimore in the first 5 with the starting pitching. I feel like there's advantages Baltimore in the bullpen, and there's no question Baltimore has the bat. So at -140, I had to take a shot.
Yeah, I would lean that way as well. Go ahead and switch us over to the next game. What's the community poll after that one? 80% to 7% on Baltimore. So literally every single person watching this is betting the O's here, but that's the side I'd lean also. Cleveland, Miami, Guardians versus the Fish. And all right, we got Carrasco pitching against Trevor Rogers here. Okay, so if you were in the Discord, you saw me bring this up this morning. When I first looked at this game, my thoughts were, how the hell is this total only 8.5 with these 2 starting pitchers? I mean, Carrasco making a road start. I don't even care what lineup he's pitching to. It's Carrasco on the road. I know he actually was not bad in his last couple road starts, but let's not fool ourselves here. This dude's been a fade on the road since his days with the Mets, and he's only getting older. He's only aging. So I don't even care if it's the Marlins lineup. I don't trust Carlos Carrasco to pitch a great game on the road. And then you got Trevor Rogers, who's just been a pitching machine. Dude's been getting rocked at home. Dude's been getting rocked on the road. I don't see how to put up an over for me, Prop Beaver. I mean, you know what? Instead of an over, put up a first 5 over 4.5 for me, please. You'll have to type it. So yeah, first 5 over 4.5 would be my bet. The reason I ended up not pulling the trigger on it, and it just got left off, is Cleveland's a very lefty heavy lineup. Even against a lefty pitcher, there's still going to be 4 lefties in that lineup, true lefties. Trevor Rogers, terrible numbers against righty bats, actually somewhat a little bit serviceable, a little better against lefties. So I thought maybe there's an off chance Trevor Rogers can pitch pretty well. And then on the other side, I mean, it is the Marlins bats. So is it completely unconceivable that Carlos Carrasco pitches decent? No. So I do see a path for this being a low-scoring game, which is why I ended up staying off. But on paper, looking at this one, this game should be 6-5 all the way. So I lean towards the over, first 5 over, but I didn't actually put it on my ticket.
I bet Cleveland. It's just too short of a price for me. They lost a game in Miami already. They need this game to win the series. I understand that Carrasco hasn't looked good in Miami for 2 years because, I mean, playing with the Mets, you got to say them as well. But I will say last year when he faced them when he was playing with the Mets at home and stuff. It wasn't on the road. His last 2 starts on the road in Miami were 2 years ago. And he went 13 total innings and gave up 1 run. It's a different team and whatnot. I just wanted to make that point because I've seen a couple people say on social media and stuff today about his history against Miami. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I don't think it really gives you the whole story. But I will say that his last, I mean, if you take out the Houston start where he got throttled, I mean, on the road at Boston, 5 2/3, 2 runs. Against the White Sox, 7 innings, 3 runs. Against Texas, 5 innings, 2 runs. So he's been decent on the road. So yeah, I just felt like this was way too cheap of a price for Cleveland. If I end up getting trapped, so be it. But I played Miami back-to-back days, yesterday and the day before that. They won the first one. Obviously, they got killed yesterday, so I'm barely sitting at a profit right now with that plus money. So I just feel like I said, I just feel like this is a little bit too cheap for Cleveland, so I took them at -120.
I mean, it's hard to argue with the Guardians against the Marlins at that price. But let's flip over to the next one. Let's look at the poll. I'm assuming, 67%, 14%. So community definitely on Cleveland for sure. Next up, Seattle, Kansas City. This is my game here. Love this bet. I'm on the Mariners money line. So I've been on the Royals both games. Well, actually, I didn't bet it yesterday, but I took the Royals in the first game of the series. Then yesterday on the show, I said Royals are pass. This is a Seattle spot. I know the Royals at home, Cole Reagan's on the mound. I get it. But the Mariners are hitting lefty starters recently.
Bingo.
I mean, they got to, Detmers. But they got to Detmers. They got to Framber Valdez. They scored on Patrick Corbin. They even got to JP Sears. Not JP Sears wasn't an explosion. But the Mariners are waking up against lefties. And Cole Reagan's has been really good. But if you look at who he's pitched against, I mean, the Padres, who haven't hit lefties for shit. The Twins, who never hit. Detroit, Oakland. I mean, you got to go all the way back to early May to find the last time Cole Reagan's even had a remotely difficult start. So after the Royals take the first two games of this series, I expect everyone to flood in on Kansas City in this third one. And it's understandable, which is why they're now laying minus 130 juice. But George Kirby is finna deal. George Kirby's going to deal today. Dude, don't pay me that brush. Toast is the one that blindly backs this guy, not me. I like the spot for George Kirby, who's actually pitched well recently. I mean, I wouldn't say pitched well, but we just saw him throw a great game against Houston. 6 innings, 6 hits, 1 run. That was against the Astros. Royals not only do the Mariners have the bullpen edge, but they're more rested. MacArthur and Schreiber, the Royals' 2 biggest arms, both went 2 of the last 3 days. The Mariners have seen during the course of this series, the Mariners have seen every single arm in that Royals bullpen, and a couple of them are really taxed. Mariners bullpen was in a situation yesterday. Munoz is back, though, right, Toast?
Yep.
Munoz is back. Stanek, Saucedo. I mean, they got their 3 main guys. I think this is a Mariner spot. Swing it back the other way. I was on the Royals the first 2, but this is a Mariner spot, man.
I can't believe you're on the Mariners.
I'm a sharp.
No, I thought I was going to be the one that came on here to make that bet and take all the shit from the comments. So I'm glad
you're on the Mariners too.
Of course. What are we talking? Yes. I feel the same way as you. I actually did bet the Royals both games and cashed them both. And felt really good about it. And now we're getting.
You took me at the Mariners in the first one. Remember we fought about it.
Oh, that's right. Sorry. I forgot. I felt like I won that game. That's why I said that.
That's right. You were up 8-0.
Anyway, regardless, Kirby faced this offense at home earlier this season. That's the only thing that gave me a little bit of pause. But he went 7 innings, gave up 3 hits and no runs. I mean, he was very, very dominant in that start. And I also think that he probably has this game a little bit circled on his calendar because he did not look good in Kansas City last year. 8 hits on 4 runs. But again, like Sauce said, I'm glad that he said it and not me because I'd be considered a hater. But Cole Reagan's has been good, but he has faced some lackluster offenses, to say the least. Padres, Minnesota, Detroit, Oakland, Angels, Toronto, Brewers. I guess I'll give you if you want, but that's not really a lineup that scares you, really, right? So
you got to give him the Angels because at the time the Angels were hitting lefty.
The lefty part, yes, touche, 100%. I would agree with that. But again, and Sauce mentioned the bullpen situation too. So, yeah. And also the price. I mean, how often are you going to get this Mariners team with George Kirby on the mound at plus money? Yeah. I understand what Kansas City's been able to do, but I still think that's a little bit too good to pass up. Keep in mind, Seattle also 12-7 versus left-handed pitching. I went on that whole soliloquy the other day about them against lefties as well. So I trust them against lefties right now, especially in their form, and at plus 115 or whatever it is right now. Yeah, there's no way you can't bet Seattle right now, in my opinion.
All right, and our polls are definitely on the Royals, and understandably so. I'm not like, if you're on the Royals, I'm not like, you're an idiot.
Yeah,
no. Royals at home have been money machines. I've been on them the last 2 days, but I really like this spot for Seattle. So I'm on the Mariners. Let's flip it over to the next one, which is Boston. It's a sock off. I didn't bet this one. I wanted to talk about it on the live show. What are we doing here? Okay. So, look, I know that we look at this like, oh, Boston it's the White Sox with Flexen on the mound. Like, so before it even starts, like, Red Sox should win comfortably, and maybe that's correct. But
then you realize that Chris Flexen's dealing right now.
I wouldn't even take it there. That's not what I was going to say at all. He did throw a good. Actually, no. He threw one good game against the Cubs. Where's the second one?
The next one against Toronto, 5 innings.
9 base runners in 5 innings is not a good start.
Dude, the ball was slippery. He walked 5 guys. Look at every other start. He doesn't walk anybody. That was an aberration.
Oh, bro. Okay. So, no, this is all right. What I'm talking about is I want you to pull up the projected lineup from the Red Sox. Chris Flexen is one of those righties that's better against lefty bats. I mean, 3 of the first 4 hitters in the Boston lineup are lefties. They're going to have 5 lefties in the lineup in this game. There's no Tyler O'Neill. There's no Devers. So basically what I'm saying is we look at this game and we're like, oh, the Red Sox are way better than the White Sox. Well, hold on. You got Bernardino pitching against Flexen. I don't know who has the edge there. You got no Devers and no O'Neill in the Red Sox lineup and Louis Robert back in the White Sox lineup. I think the lineups are even a little bit closer to what we're used to. So I think right now these teams, based on the current injuries and who's on the mound, I think they're a little closer than you would think. I kind of want to bet the White Sox. I didn't.
I would actually argue with these two. I mean, I'd have to like kind of. I would actually say that the White Sox probably have an advantage in the lineup. I mean, Corey Julks is an Astro guy. I mean, he's solid. Julks, Lopez, Robert, Sheets, Vaughn, DeYoung. I mean, Paul DeYoung's been hitting the ball pretty well right now either. The only thing
Devers really, and no O'Neill.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I mean, Dahlback, McGuire, Rafaela. I mean, those 3 cancel each other out as far as the ends of the lineup. I'll take the top 6 for Chicago more than I take the top 6 in the Boston lineup. That's not even a question for me. So yeah, it'd be. I said, what did I say yesterday? White Sox team total or pass. It's at 3.5 again. I would lean that, but I think that you just play the White Sox at a big plus price at home. Let's check this bullpen really quick. That's the only thing I haven't looked at. Fuck.
I thought Zach Kelly was the opener and Bernardino's the primary. That's what RotoWire has. Yeah, Zach Kelly's the opener, guys. Bernardino is the primary.
Yeah, you're good. So, yeah, I guess it does suck that Kopech threw 33 pitches yesterday. It's White Sox or pass. Yeah.
I kind of want to bet it, man. It's Sunday.
Your audio is way different now.
Really?
Yeah. Anyway.
I think Toast, I think to me, Brock Beaver, your audio is weird. Leave and come back real quick. All right. Go ahead and move us on to the next game. Yeah, they're saying Toast is echoing. So Toast is going to leave and come back. All right. All right, now it's better. All right, Toast is back, and now it's... Yeah, I don't know what happened. The screen refreshed, and when they came back, it was just a little different. But we're using OBS Ninja, which is like a free... I need to invest in a software that does better as far as bringing guests on, does a better job. But anyway, Rockies Cardinals is next. I had went back and forth a little bit on this one. My bet isn't going to make sense. I bet the under in this one. So you can go ahead and put the under up. Really? What? For some reason, Toast isn't popping up in the stream. Give it like 2 seconds. Sometimes it takes a second to pop up. I don't know why you're not showing up. I don't think they could even hear you. Talk, Toast? Yeah. Damn it. All right. Try leaving and come back in again. Well, we're talking about the under. I just realized that they couldn't hear what he just said. But basically what Toast just said, in case you couldn't hear him, he's going to leave and come back in again. So these two games, first two games of this series, we saw runs, right? 8-5 and 6-5. So we saw runs. And I think a lot of people are looking at these two starting pitchers and undervaluing them. Ty Blocks actually hasn't been that bad. And he throws with his left hand. This is not the 2023 Cardinals. This lineup's been better against righties this year. So I think Ty Block can pitch well here against a Cardinals line, but I don't trust against lefties. And then Payante, he's just kind of like branded as this like shitty pitcher. And you know what? Maybe he is, but at home against the Rockies lineup, which by the way, I know they've been scoring runs here and there, but this Rockies lineup we know isn't good against righties. They're able to show up here and there. So I think we're going to see a low-scoring game early. And look at the line. And part of this, I'm just playing a sharp line here. Two high-scoring games, 8-5, 6-5, then two pitchers that everyone's going to sprint over to the over, and they lower the total, which kind of confirms what I was thinking. So combination of I think these two starting pitchers pitch well and playing a sharp line here on the under. You don't have to tail me on this one. I get it if you don't want to. It's definitely a little bit just playing a sharp line. So I'm in on the under. I think it's a good play. I think it's going to hit, but I understand that the reasoning for it isn't extremely logically sound. I get it. Let me. All right, Toast isn't popping back up at all now. Maybe he's restarting his computer or something. All right, let's just move on to the next game. Toronto, Oakland. What a weird one here. Toronto, Oakland. And Toast is here, and we're doing a game where I didn't bet on. All right, so what I'll do is I'll pull up the spreadsheet and take a look and see why I passed. Prop Heaver's doing the poll. Toast is in the chat. It says Ninja won't let me in. Yeah, I guess. Do your own research, Kyle. What the hell do you think I'm sharing with you? Yeah, Hairston's on Oakland. I mean, the line's indicating that Mitch Spence looked really good in his last start. And they came through for me in that one. Oh no, it was 2 starts ago. I'm sorry. Last start, Seattle actually got to him. In fact, he actually struggled in his last 2 home starts. Last 3 home starts. Holy shit. So Mitch Spence has had 3 bad road starts in a row. In his last, let's bring it back to 10th. In his last 3 home starts, he's got a 6.59 ERA and a 183 WHIP. 382 expected FIP though, and again he's had some bad luck. Yeah, let's just go to the next game. If Toast isn't able to get back in, let's just go to the games that I bet then. There's only a couple left. Just skip to Dodgers, Yankees. All right, Dodgers, Yankees. And I played the Yankees in this one. First of all, Sunday Night Baseball, ESPN got their money's worth here. I mean, this has got to be the best Sunday Night Baseball game of the year. Glasnow pitching against Heel. Heel has been arguably the best pitcher in the AL for a month now. I mean, this dude has been absolutely untouchable.
I know I've been on the Dodgers both games this series, so I do think. 1 second. Let me bring up my projected lineups. Yeah, I just wanted to make sure they didn't throw Soto back in there before I said. I do think without Juan Soto, and you take into effect that it's a Yankees lineup that was definitely due to regress. I mean, they were the hottest lineup in baseball. We knew that couldn't last forever. So, like I was saying yesterday, maybe Juan Soto getting hurt was the catalyst that starts a little bit of a Yankees valley. And when I say valley, I don't mean they're going to be shit for the rest of the year. I meant there's no way they could consistently produce at that level over an extended period of time. We knew they were going to come back down to earth, and I think we saw it. That being said, at home, after losing back-to-back games on primetime Sunday Night Baseball against Glasnow, that's where we see him show up. I think Glasnow is going to get hit up, and if you look at Glasnow's game logs here, Pirates, Mets, Diamondbacks. I mean, he got hit up by the Reds back on May 16th. So the last time you saw a lineup that's been hitting righties, they got to him. Actually, the Snakes have been hitting righties too, but he gave up 3 runs to them. Am I still in? I don't know. I can't see anything.
There we go. I'm back. All right. So I don't even know what the last thing you heard me say is. There, Toast is back too. I don't know. You weren't showing up on, it wasn't just his computer. You weren't showing up on mine either. So we can't use OBS Ninja shit anymore. So hold on, let's get Toast back in. And then we'll go. Now we could go back to the 2 games we skipped because maybe he has something to say. You bailed. Your thing crapped out right when we had 2 games where I had nothing to say. No, dude. Oh, don't tell me it's not going to let him in. This sucks, man. I don't know. Freaking, I can't get Toast back in the fucking stream. All right, so yeah, I'm on the Yankees money line. Just flip over to NBA, please. Later. All right, put up Mavericks for me. I took Mavs +7, and I took the Mavs money line in the NBA. Give them an NBA poll because I'm sure they want to talk about it. I don't know what the fuck is going on with this. It's really frustrating. So, all right. We all know Celtics won comfortably in game 1. Wide open 3-point shots. Boston Celtics, 14 of 35. Dallas Mavericks, 6 of 24. So Boston knocked down the open looks they got, and Dallas didn't. And a lot of those looks came early in the game, and there was one sequence in particular. The reason I'm saying this is it's important to understand that sometimes you look at the final score of that game. What Dallas won by 18? They won by 18 points. They were up 17 at the end of the first quarter. They went on that little run where they hit 4 threes in a row, and Dallas missed 3 threes in a row. So this little sequence, Kyrie missed one, then Jaylen Brown hit one, and then JJ Hardy missed one. So that Dallas had 3 missed threes in a row, and Boston made 4 threes in a row. I mean, dude, that's a 21-point swing. Just something like that. If that little sequence goes differently. I mean, look at this is the best way to describe it. I even have a graphic that shows it. So after the first quarter was 37-20 Celtics. The rest of the game, second, third, and fourth quarter, 80-79 was practically even. So that game looks so much differently if that sequence just goes a little bit differently. The game looks completely different. I mean, second, third, and fourth quarter was back and forth. Dallas was in control for some of it. Boston was in control for some of it. And I think that little first quarter sequence where we saw Porzingis hit like a 30-footer that was like off bounce, weird shit. It made it look like these two teams aren't that close skill-wise when they are. Also, tell me we haven't seen this before. Every single series in these playoffs so far, Boston looked one way in game 1 and looked completely different in game 2. In the first series, they played Miami. They win game 1 by 25 points, beat the shit out of them. Remember, we were talking on YouTube, and I was like, I think the regression points towards Boston. They should on paper they should win this by even more. They end up getting beat by Miami in game 2. Second series, Cleveland beat the shit out of them in game 1. Look comfortable as hell. We all think, Boston sweeping this one. They lose game 2. Series against Indiana, they barely win game 1. In fact, they probably should have lost that game. Pacers took them to overtime, and everyone's like, Pacers are going to be in this series. Everyone was hammering Pacers money line in game 2. Boston wins by 16. So every single series this year, whatever the Celtics did in game 1, the complete opposite happens in game 2. Not to mention, I don't think, like I said, the final score of game 1 is indicative to the type of game we saw. Dallas, what was the rebounding battle in this? I think Dallas won the rebounding battle of that game. 1 second. No, 43-47. So the rebounding battle was even. Dallas outscored Boston in the paint. If it wasn't for those wide open shots that Boston hit and Dallas missed, that game's a lot closer than we think. So I got this at 7. This graphic says 6.5. I believe there's still a 7 open, but if it's not, I would still take it at 6.5. I also took the money line. I think a lot of people are like, Boston's better, and doing the same thing we've seen from the Celtics all year, just completely reacting to what we see in game 1. Not accounting for the fact that game 2 is going to look completely different. So I expect the Dallas Mavericks to hit their shots in this one. And this line's just too big for two teams that I think are pretty close. Look, the Celtics are clearly dominant, and with Porzingis on the floor, it's tough. It's tough. It's tough to make an argument against them, but I'm catching points. And look, I don't think there's a ton of betting value in the NBA Finals or the NBA playoffs once you hit the second round. There's just not enough of a sample size. So if I'm being honest, definitely like doing a little bit of gambling here. Obviously, it's the NBA Finals. We're going to be watching it, and I want to have money on it. But this is by no means me saying, guys, like the Mavericks are the play. Let's go out there. Like, it's not anything like that. Obviously, it's just extremely unpredictable at this point. It's one game. There's no slate. You just do the best you can. And I think Dallas would be the side to be on, in my opinion. So that's what I bet. We'll see. And wow, the poll actually agrees with me. All right. Let me read some of these comments. Sorry, I was trying to, I don't know what the hell's going on with the stream. But... Gab's on the Celtics? Come on, Gab. You're better than that. Who the hell's Helms calling a sharp chaser? Helms be in the comments just like fighting with people. Guys, save your money and bet on the UFL. Log off, Helms. Proppy, put up a who scores more points, Kyrie/Luka or Tatum/Brown? Who's the better 1-2 punch? And Kyrie was bad in that first game. What was his stat line? Sorry for the shitty stream today, guys. To be honest, I probably would have canceled the show today, but I didn't put any content out last night because I was in Atlantic City it was a work thing, like I said. So I didn't want to cancel the show and not do anything. So I just wanted to put something together. So I apologize that the stream wasn't the best today. All right, I want to see what they vote on that. Yeah, Kyrie Irving in game 1, 6 of 19, 0 of 5 from 3. Luka played pretty well. Could shoot a little bit better, but 30 points on 26 shot attempts is okay. Dallas 25.9% from 3. I can't believe the yeah, Gab, you want to talk Peyton Pritchard? Let's talk Peyton Pritchard ball. Someone said up late playing Hold'em. No, I didn't even gamble. There's this guy, whatever. He's developing a sports betting app, and he was in Atlantic City, in town from the West Coast. So it was like a dinner meet and greet type of thing. And I ended up staying down there for a few hours. They were a cool group of people, and I definitely got along with them. But it wasn't a party, and I wasn't drinking or anything. I drove, so I drove home after. I just didn't get home till almost 2 a.m., so that's why I'm a little behind. Yeah, Peyton Pritchard. What's Peyton Pritchard's total at, Gab? Peyton Pritchard's the only player on the Celtics that has any heart. And no, I'm not saying that because he's the white guy. I'm saying that because if you watch this guy play, this guy the Celtics could be up 30, and this man is running up and down the court like it's Game 7 of the finals. Just never before seen intensity. Peyton Pritchard. 3.5 points? What a layup. What's his number for 10 plus? 3.5 points for Peyton Pritchard. You know what? I bet you with Porzingis back, he sees less minutes. That has to be what it is. Peyton Pritchard, 16 minutes. He went 0 of 7, though. I'm slamming that, dude. Peyton Pritchard over 3.5. Minus 130 on BetMGM. Betting it right now. Let's ladder it. Can you ladder on BetMGM? Shit. But on FanDuel, I don't even. I'm not logged into this freaking site, so it's not showing. Yes, I am. It's not even showing me FanDuel's lines. No, FanDuel. Okay, I'll FanDuel it. All right, FanDuel. I'm gonna ladder Peyton Pritchard points. Who is better? 63% of you said Tatum. 63% of you would never be my friend. Who's better, Tatum or Pritchard? Andy in our office is a Celtics fan, so me and Prop Beaver always troll him about Jason Tatum, and he gets defensive. He goes to bat for his boy. So if you ever are in the comments and you want to make Andy upset, talk about how Jason Tatum sucks and how he always racks up stats against bad teams and then sucks against good teams. Bring that up. Bring that up to Andy next time you talk to him. He loves talking about it. All right, Peyton Pritchard over 3.5. Oh, they only do 10 plus. So all I got is I'm doing it. Peyton Pritchard. They don't even have him on here. Wow, they're not even. I'm just going to bet it's over 3.5. Fuck it. I'm in, Pritchard. Shit. All right. So is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we close? Again, sorry for the weird stream. Today I'm going to look into replacing the OBS Ninja software. Because or see maybe they have like a premium version of it, because we're doing these streams and like everything on here is so awesome except that aspect of it. I'm using a free software. Phillies just took the lead with a solo home run. Who is it? Who hit that? David Dahl hit it. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Tomorrow, everything's back to normal. Let's see what the schedule is. I'm pretty sure they're all night games, too. 4 p.m. So tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. I got Ski. Ski's coming on 3 times this week for WNBA. So tomorrow it'll be Ski and Crispy capping for WNBA. And then MLB after. There's 7 games. So but everything back to normal tomorrow. All right, everyone. Have a good day. Remember to bet responsibly. Enjoy your Sunday. And I'll talk to you guys soon.